Join us live, don't miss a beat. For the love of sport, our passion's complete. Sport Today, your sport headquarters, where action speaks louder. Just for you, an honor, 103.5 FM. We're in the zone for sports fans everywhere. Welcome home.
Is underway with a good launch off the line for Oscar Piastri. Australian driver getting to the apex first. Verstappen trying to hang on to it, and Verstappen hangs on to the lead, but he went all four wheels off the road. He wasn't the only one. Antonelli gives the place back. It's Max Verstappen who has first place, but Piastri caused him a huge headache. He's second, then it's Russell, Leclerc, Antonelli, Hamilton. Big crash with Yuki Tsunoda, and into the barrier with Pierre Gasly. The former teammates finding themselves coming together, and we will surely, as DC says, need a safety car.
Let's just take a look at this. So a great getaway for the McLaren, and you see he's firmly got the corner, and Max commits. Yeah, he's behind at the apex, and the only saving grace might be they used to give a little bit of leeway at the start of a Grand Prix for incidents.
It's not fair racing. That's just plain and simple. It's not fair racing from Verstappen, and he's kept the place.
This was Yuki Tsunoda turning in, Pierre Gasly trying to go around the outside, and the Alpine and the Red Bull coming together. It took out Pierre Gasly immediately, and Yuki Tsunoda will go no further. He is mired to turn 22. We ride on board with the man from Melbourne who is coaxing it through the final corners. He got that apex into the first turn, and he took the lead in the pit stop phase. He's about to take the points lead in the battle to be the Drivers' World Champion. This is the final corner of the last lap, and a champion of Formula 3, a champion of Formula 2, is the new championship leader in Formula 1. Oscar Piastri wins the Saudi Grand Prix to beat Max Verstappen by 2.8 seconds. Charles Leclerc scores Ferrari's first podium finish of the season, but it's Piastri who improves from the front row to the win, and he succeeds his mentor Mark Webber, the first Australian driver.
Yes, it was a battle yesterday at the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Beautiful race, and of course it was intense from the beginning to the final moment of that particular Grand Prix. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a beautiful one for Oscar Piastri and his team. We look into the race on the show this afternoon. My name is Ayomikun Adeniyi. Welcome to Sport Today on the biggest sporting platform on 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from Bodija here in the proud city of Ibadan to give you the latest and the best coming from the world of sport. Guess what? I will not be the only one in the studio this afternoon. I got Samuel Akin today. City Boy is with me this afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Ayomikun. Good afternoon to our esteemed listener, most especially the fans of the world of sports, the sport fans who are, of course, are listening to us at this very point in time. It was a very fantastic weekend of actions, not just in the world of football. It's got across every, sport activity. And just like we saw the 5th Grand Prix of the year, talking about the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, it was a very, very interesting one, a very beautiful Grand Prix, very highly competitive and intense one that had us on the edge of our seat from start to finish, just like you mentioned. And what a season Oscar Piastri, the Australian man, is having. His 5th career victory and his 3rd in this season. Don't forget, he won the Chinese Grand Prix and he won the Bahrain Grand Prix, the last Grand Prix. So it was back-to-back victory for Oscar Piastri, beating Max Verstappen by just 2.8 seconds to become the only multiple race winner in 2025 with three victories so far recorded in this 2025 season. This season. And what a moment! He also set a record. Become the first Australian driver to actually be to lead the drivers' championship, because currently he's leading the driver's stand. The last time an Australian driver did that was 2010. Talking about Mark Webber, who was who was leading the drivers' championship in 2010. So history was rewritten yesterday by Oscar Piastri, becoming the first Australian driver to lead the championship drivers' championship stand in this year. It was a very, very interesting race for Max Verstappen. quite unfortunate because it was in pole position to actually win that race, but he had a tussle, more or less like a technical infringement, like a clash with Oscar Piastri, and Oscar Piastri out to overtake him, and he won by just 2.8 seconds.
All right, interesting race that we saw in the world of Formula One just this weekend. Max Verstappen continued to chase the championship for this season.
Retain his championship.
We saw what he did last season, winning the championship. But then I think Oscar is coming more stronger this season.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Oscar is leading the driver's stand, 99 points. But quite interestingly, just 12 points separate the top 3 drivers. Talking about Oscar Piastri.
And then we still have a long way to go.
Yeah, of course.
There's
19 more races to go. 19 more races to go. Up next is Miami Grand Prix.
All right.
Yeah. Well, before we move away, I think we need to also talk about the team standing. McLaren, they are still topping. They are on the verge of retaining their championship. 88 points. And you have Mercedes with 111. Ferrari, because of Leclerc, we need to also acknowledge the fact that he secured the first podium finish of the year for Ferrari. He finished third position, so that was the first time Ferrari will make a podium finish this season. So he has helped Ferrari to. They are now actually closing in on Red Bull. They have 78 points. Red Bull have 89 points. Just 11 points separating these two constructors, team. But it's been a very fantastic season. I will not.
But then it's just too early for us to determine how the season will pan out. Because we still have, like you mentioned, 19
more
races to go before the end of the season.
Still a long way to go.
But then one way or the other, I think the likes of McLaren are getting things right now.
Of course,
even from last season, they have been getting.
Yeah, they won the constructor championship last season. For the very first time in 26 years, and as it stands, 188 points, and the second on the team standings is Mercedes with 111. You can see that Mercedes and other constructors, they have a long way to go. They have a very big catching up to do if they really want to stop McLaren from retaining the constructor championship. So for me, I would definitely say McLaren are going to win because they are doing well, and they've got two brilliant drivers. Oscar Piastri in his second season. This is the second season with McLaren. And he has won 3 races so far this season, and you have another brilliant driver in Lando Norris who won the first Grand Prix of the year, talking about the Australian Grand Prix. So combining these two brilliant drivers together, I mean, it's definitely going to be very, very instrumental and very instrumental, so to say, for McLaren. And I think for Max Verstappen, he has been doing the job all alone for Red Bull. Don't forget, they had to sack. They had to part way with Liam Lawson, and they brought in Yuki Tsunoda. But it has not been.
They're not getting the results yet.
Honestly,
maybe.
But like you said, still early to say.
Maybe things will change. We are still at the early stage of the season.
Yes.
So, say what quickly. Let's go straight to world of NBA this afternoon. Yes, 2 games went down in the world of basketball. We saw Golden State Warriors securing victory earlier as of today, recording 95 points to 85 points. Beautiful performance, 10 points separating them and their opponent, Houston Rockets. Yes, from the first quarter of the game, we saw Rockets winning the first quarter, recording 21 points. And of course, for Golden State Warriors, they recorded just 18 points in the first quarter. They came back in the second quarter, recording 29 points against 13 points. And the third quarter, final quarter, it was a battle between these two sides. At the end of the day, Golden State Warriors won that one, and for Miami Heat, they lost early hours of today against the highly rated Cavaliers, 121 to 100 points. Interesting to game.
Yeah, it was very, very, very competitive between Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors. Houston Rockets, they bottled their lead because
they were leading.
They were leading the first quarter, 21-18. But Golden State Warriors Warriors bounced back in the second quarter, 29-13. You can see the massive gap there. The Austin Rockets won the third quarter, 26-22, but the gap was very, very minimal.
Very close.
And then Golden State Warriors, they won the fourth quarter.
The last quarter,
with just 1 point. But what they did in the second quarter made a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, 29-13.
That was huge.
That was huge. So that was what made the difference for them. And Austin Rockets, they tried, but they could not match, the intensity of Golden State Warriors, especially in the third quarter. And that third quarter was different yesterday. I mean, at the earlier hour of this morning, and 10 points separating both teams. For Cleveland Cavaliers, I mean, it was a very, very resounding performance.
121 to 100.
That's 21 massive points. I mean, let me just in the first quarter, they won 31-24. 31-30 again in the second quarter.
Just 1 point difference in the second
and
quarter.
in the third quarters, it was
a tie.
It was a tie, 25-25. But in the fourth quarter, they won again. So it was a very, very dominant performance for Cleveland Cavaliers. For me, they've been very brilliant. We just
this season, they have been very, very brilliant this season.
Honestly,
from the regular season to even the playoff, and of course for Mitchell leading that line, and of course doing the magic for them. Interesting one coming from the world of NBA. Do you have anything to say about NBA?
Yeah, of course. The playoff is going to be very, very interesting. We cannot wait. It's starting this month, of course, and I know that there's a lot to play for in the playoff. I can't just wait to see the likes of LeBron James for it's going to be Steph Curry also.
It's going to be a very interesting one, so to say.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. We just have to wait and see how it goes in the world of NBA.
All right, so in the world of tennis, also world number one Sabalenka reached a fourth Stuttgart Open final after defeating Gemma Paoloni of Italy 7-5, 6-4. And of course, Sabalenka will face world number 24 Jessica Ostapenko in the final on Monday. That is later today.
Ostapenko, we cannot write her off. She's very, very good. But I think Jelena Ostapenko, she's very, very good. It's going to be a very, very good game between the two female tennis players. We just have to wait. It's going down today. Tomorrow we'll be back and discuss that. But I just have to say that it's going to be a very, very interesting game of tennis between these two very technical players. They're very, very good. And making it to the final, they know that they have everything to fight for in the final. When you play in the final, you know that you just have to give it your all, and then you just have to do everything possible, to secure the title. Let's wait and see what happens today. I know it's going to be a fantastic one.
All right, before we go to football, let's talk about handball, because the Nigerian under-18 women handball team secured victory right there in Togo. Brilliant run for them, against Togo right there in Ivory Coast. They won the game 53 points against 21 points.
That was massive for Team Nigeria, and it underscores the fact that we are doing well as a nation in handball. Kudos to the handball, Nigerian Handball Federation. They are doing very, very well in that. Don't forget the under-23 and under and the national team are talking about the Imagination Championship when they went to Bulgaria. They made it to the semi-finals. They played top place, but they lost to the host nation. But it was a very fantastic performance for them. I'm talking about the male national team. Even the under-23, they did very well. They made it to the final. They just lost to I think they lost to USA. Yes. So it was very, 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 very fantastic outing for them, and it underscores the fact that the Nigerian Handball Federation, they are doing NHF, they are doing very, very well in that federation, and we have potentials in the federation. Now the ladies are also making the country proud right here in Ivory Coast, winning Togo. I mean, it was a very fantastic performance.
Good one for them. All right, good one coming from the world of handball. Ladies and gentlemen, you are still on to Sport Today on 103.5 FM. Yes, you can join the conversation live on Facebook at on 103.5 FM. We'll take a comment shortly after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
On 103.5 FM.
gbogbo ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi ó tún ti yá o láti bá wa rìnrìn àjò ẹ̀mí tọdún 2025 ká lè pé níye gẹ́gẹ́ bí onígbàgbọ́ tòótọ́ níwájú Olúwa Ọlọ́run. Ní báyìí nílé iṣẹ́ You Fit Fly àǹfààní tó ti ṣí sílẹ̀ fún wa láti rìnrìn àjò ẹ̀mí lọ sáwọn àyè mánigbàgbé tá a dárúkọ nínú Bíbélì lórílẹ̀‐èdè Jordan, Israel, Rome àti Greece. Ṣé mọ̀ pé gbogbo àwọn àyè wọ̀nyí níṣẹ́ ìyanu ti ṣẹlẹ̀ tí Olúwa Ọlọ́run ti dára fi àṣẹlélẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ojú òpó fọmọnìyàn láti tọ̀. Ẹ̀yin ní kẹ́ ẹ sọ oṣù tó bá wù yín láti bá wa lọ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọdún yìí títí dópin 2025. Kẹ́ ẹ yọjú sí wa ní You Fit Fly kájọ sọ torí pé oṣooṣù là ń tẹkọ̀ létí ṣe ìrìn àjò ẹ̀mí lọ sáwọn orílẹ̀-èdè wọ̀nyí pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run alààyè àti àwọn ẹni àmì òróró rẹ̀. Ìwọ náà má jẹ́ kí wọ́n ròyìn fún ọ. Kàn sí You Fit Fly lónìí ní Success House Block 8 Plot 7 7 Up Road Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pé 0901 111 1190. Website youfitfly.com. Ìrìn àjò ẹ̀mí ní You Fit Fly. Àmójúlẹ́jà ẹ̀dọ́ba.
Imagine having the freedom to work, play, and connect without interruptions. That is what fast internet means to us. At Highward Networks, we are passionate about delivering super fast, unlimited internet that is 6 times faster than the competition. Whether you're working from home, running a business, or streaming your favorite shows, we've got you covered. A reliable internet and 24/7 customer support ensure you stay connected always. So what are you waiting for? Join the iWorld Networks family today and discover a seamless internet experience. Call Jeffrey on 081 3058 9466 or visit our website www.iwn.ng to get started. iWorld Networks, connected possibilities.
On 103.5 FM.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. You are seeing on to sport today on 103.5 FM. All right, let's go back to football right about now. Starting from the local scene, we have games that went down in the world of NNL. Interesting one for some teams. The Golden State, they won their game, winning against the Wiki Tourists just this weekend on Saturday. They won the game 3-1. And for Shikoto United, they also won at home by a lone goal. Yes, a bad one for Crown FC of Ogbomoso because they lost 2-0.
Yeah, quite a very, very poor result for Crown FC. But they lost away from home. It could have been a very good one if they had picked a point away from home, but we cannot blame them. We know how it's always difficult.
Beyond Limits won 6-1.
Away from home?
No, at home.
At home. Beyond Limits, of course, you know that they've always been very, very impressive. Whether they are playing in NLA, whether it is President Federation Cup, any tournament they go, they've been very, very good. But Crown FC, I'm still rooting for them because I feel they are second on the log. So in the conferences, so it's still very much open for them to actually secure qualification. If they cannot secure automatic qualification, they qualify for the playoff. Talking about the Super 6. Quite unfortunate for them that they lost yesterday, but I still believe that they can still turn it around. Their next game will be at home. They've been doing very, very well. Bad results yesterday. They've been very, very fantastic. Playing at home, and they picked some valuable points away from home as well. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope that they will definitely do well before the end of the season.
All right, let's see what will happen. Also, in the MPFL, we have games that went down this weekend. 10 games went down across 10 centers. We spoke about this game yesterday, but then most importantly, Shooting Stars lost at home yesterday against Remo Stars, and of course, Benin Insurance playing 1-1 draw against Nasarawa United. Plateau United also the one at home against Aqua United. And for Economic Warriors of Maiduguri playing 1-1 draw against Ikorodu City. Goalless between Atlanta and Kwara United. Right there in Port Harcourt, Rivers United defeated Sunshine Stars of Akure by a lone goal. Of course, on Saturday we saw 3 games. Kano Pillars lost away from home against Enyimba. Lobby Stars of Makurdi lost at home to Enugu Rangers 2-4. And of course, Katsina United won in a big way 5-1 against Abia Warriors.
I think the biggest results, aside from the fact that Remo Stars won away from home in Adamasin by the pick maximum point for the very first time during the league double over Shooting Stars, and Shooting Stars after playing 28 games unbeaten at home, they finally lost. Quite unfortunate for them. But I think the biggest victory of that match day 34 has to be, Castina United winning at home 5-1 against Abia Warriors. I never saw that coming. This same Castina that lost 6-0 to Ikorodu City, in the match day, in the rescheduled game. It was a rescheduled game, and they also after that game they went to Ikene to pick a point.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time an opposition team went to Ikene to pick a point. They did that, and also coming back and now getting back to winning ways, doing it in a very, very fantastic manner, very fantastic
very loud manner.
Big win, 5 goals, against high flying Abia Warriors, who of course are eyeing Continental. So for me, I think it was actually a very commendable win for Castina United, and they are currently 13 on the log with they have 44 points. So I think that victory was very, very important for them, because they were 41 points before that game, struggling and battling relegation. But that massive 3-pointers pushed them higher up in the table, and they are now 14th on the log. 13 on the log rather, with 44 points. That's very, very good, but quite unfortunate for the likes of Sunshine Stars, who of course lost away from home the Amexia Amaka Stadium right there in Port Harcourt against Rivers. Also for the the Promise Keepers as well, they also lost, right? They lost. Talking about Aqua United, I'm trying to get if they lost. I think they lost their game.
Aqua United, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think this weekend Aqua United they lost away from home against Plateau United.
It's not very, very. It's looking very bad for them. And I even have something to say about these two teams, because for Sunshine Stars, the last time a Nigerian team, qualified for the semi-final of the CAF Champions League was 2012, 13 years ago. That was Sunshine Stars. The last time a Nigerian team qualified for the group stage of the CAF Champions League was 6 years ago. That was 2019, and that was Lobby Stars. Now both teams are on the Lobby Stars have relegated already. Sunshine Stars needs only a miracle. It will take only a miracle for them to escape relegation. So here's the question: the last two teams that did well on the continent are on the verge of relegating to the NNL. What is the future of Nigeria on the continent?
Maybe something is not right administrationally.
Because I don't understand. Sunshine Stars, 12 years ago, they made it to semi-final of the CAF Champions League.
That was a very long time ago.
13 years ago, that was the last time a Nigerian team.
13 years ago.
And this current dispensation, this current CAF Champions League, you have two South African teams, Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates.
I know. I'm very sure that there's so many things that we are not getting right when it comes to football in Nigeria. We cannot compare the way South Africans are moving forward step by step.
That is why we need to take actions.
All right.
A lot still needs to be done. We are not even competing on the continent, talking about club football, even the national team. Super Eagles are on the verge of not qualifying for 2 World Cups in a row. So what is happening to Nigerian football? I mean, we are really, really behind, honestly. Because since South Africa with their football project, both clubs and national level, they are doing very well. Bafana, they are topping the group C of the World Cup. They made it to the semi-final of the last AFCON. They are doing very well. But Nigeria, I mean, it's pathetic, honestly.
All right, we wait and see. Maybe miracle will happen in Nigerian football. But
it only take a miracle for Sunshine to escape relegation.
Of course, the Nigerian Flying Eagles depart for Egypt for 2025 on the 20 African Cup of Nations.
Yeah, that's a very good one. And because the draw is out already, they are drawn in a group where you have Tunisia. Tunisia will be the group opener. The group opener, talking about Nigerian group, they will play against Tunisia in the opener. And then you have Morocco as well in that group. And you have Kenya. Morocco is hosting it. You have the host country. You have another country from the north. Egypt to be hosting.
So we have Morocco.
You have Morocco. You have Tunisia. And then you have Kenya. On paper, the only team that I can say, I don't want to really.
I can tell what they are bringing to the table.
Yeah, because.
But then, according to football in Africa, we know Kenya cannot match up with these guys.
And then you know that North African side are always very, very technical. But this is under 20, and in all these, age groups, football, Nigeria always, produce extraordinary performance. So I expect the Flying Eagles to fly high in Egypt. They would. I'm very, very optimistic that they will make Nigerian proud. I think their coach Zubair is a very, very good coach. He also understands Nigerian football. He was former, I think, academy coach. So he understands Nigerian football. And if you, the list of the players he invited, we have so many players from the locals in the likes of Jefta, from Imba. I mean, we have so many good players. But Meyi also, their captain, is a very good player. Bayelsa United. So we just have to wait and see how they will, do in that tournament. But I'm really, really looking forward to seeing them, getting past the group stage. Fight in that tournament.
All right, Morocco also won the AFCON on the 17 Nations Cup
on Saturday.
I mean, they hosted the tournament and they won the tournament. Lastly on the show, the Flamingos. We spoke about the games today. They won their game in the beautiful fashion against Algeria, 4 goals to nothing.
And they cost them 6 million naira, 4 million from the club chairman of Remo Stars, Honorable Kole Soname, and 2 million from Nigerian Football Federation NFF. Good one for the ladies. They are doing very, very well. 4 goals to nil. And they are heading to to Algeria to play in the second leg. We hope that they will definitely do a double over Algeria, just like they did against South Africa. So we hope that definitely they are going to play in the under 17 World Cup later in Morocco this year.
All right, interesting weekend we had in the world of sport. But guys, we need to say our BYE.
Just before we see our BYE, an interesting title race in the Italian Serie A.
Yes, I mean, we spoke about that before we came on air.
Now, both teams, Inter Milan and Napoli,